These are images that were all too familiar during Liberia's 14-year civil war.
Child soldiers, both female and male, were used extensively during the Liberian Civil War.
In fact, one faction even had a unit called SBU, Small Boys Unit. The conflict ended in 2003. 8 years later,
I feel sad sometimes, but I just have to overcome it. Yeah, so now I feel very bad. So now I sit alone there in my room and I really think why God have to do it that way for me to fight. Yeah, I really think that and I feel bad. So now I shed tears for what happened, what I see in the war. I shed tears sometimes.
Kevin was just 8 years old when this former warlord's fighting faction forcibly recruited him.
He was very small. He could hardly carry a rifle straight. To get to be successful, all of the factions were actually recruiting children. And so I recruited a lot of kids also.
We tried to escape, but there was no way. They chased us and they caught us. I was very scared because I was hating myself for them because I never wanted to fall part in the war.
But Kevin and thousands of other children, according to UNICEF, did fight. Many were given drugs.
Brought some gunpowder, some cookies, all type of stuff. Then what they brought, they mixed it all together. Yeah, they gave it to me. Actually, they gave it to me to take it. Some people as you inhale it, some as you lick it, as you mold it, they give me as you put fire on it and smoke it. So 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, it got used to me. So I was brave now. Actually, I killed. Yeah, I killed.
No one who recruited child soldiers in Liberia has been prosecuted for their alleged crimes. Some accused warlords even hold government positions with recommendations for charges pending. Kevin's former warlord, Joshua Blai, also known as General Butt Naked for fighting nude, was one of the most notorious. He's admitted to being responsible for some 20,000 deaths. But because he met the standard of telling the truth in the country's Truth and Reconciliation Commission's process, he's not even recommended for prosecution.
The Bible says the man God saw in 1 Samuel chapter 15.
Today, he calls himself an evangelist. God and remorse, he says, is what's motivated him to set up a small home intended to help ex-combatants. He took in Kevin for a while. On this day, he tries to get Kevin's sister, who's rejected him because he was a fighter, to speak to him on the phone.
You can hear from my man Kevin?
I don't want to drop the phone here.
No, don't drop it. No need to drop it. I'm just asking.
No.
It doesn't work. Kevin, like many former child soldiers, live with the pain of rejection from their families.
When I came home, she said she never wanted to see me. So I went around to some people in the community to go and beg her, but she refused.
It's fortunate that today many of Liberia's children have not known war. But when the wars ended 8 years ago, this country was faced with the challenge of reintegrating an estimated 16,000 child soldiers, many of whom grew up fighting.
The impact was not only on the children, but on the whole republic, where we lost a whole generation of children. So they didn't have the time to become children. They didn't enjoy their childhood. They were forced into doing things that they were not supposed to do and that they were not used to, which had a serious impact on their lives.
Now, many of those grown-up child soldiers live in this ghetto community known as West Point.
Our age was 5 years when I started sweating war.
5 years?
Yes. I get on the street. I was on the street. She got my leg, my whole family now. I don't know where it is. I can see my family. I live by myself.
I was 12 years of age. But me, I get no family to just by ourselves on the street.
For a living, some admit to stealing.
Nothing I don't do, man. Go steal. Go steal to survive.
Sometimes I pull the people
Some of these young men told me after the war they went through the United Nations disarmament process in which ex-combatants got special training in exchange for turning in their guns. UNICEF says some 9,000 children received counseling, which on average lasted a week to 3 months. But the Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration Program, also known as DDR, has been criticized for not effectively reintegrating child soldiers.
Well, DDR has got a specific purpose. It's not a panacea for all the problems that were present in Liberia or are still continuing to be present in Liberia. Reintegration is a long-term exercise. It's not something that ends today.
Kevin says someone stole his gun, so he never got to turn it in and get the UN skill training or counseling. Still, Kevin found a new path. He's renting this motorcycle, referred to as a pem-pem, and using it as a taxi to earn money.
Through the motorboat, I know I want to be free with people in the community, to be feeling fun too now. Yeah, to have a friends welcome around me. We do things together, we laugh together the whole day.
And Kevin is not alone. The pem-pem business has attracted many former child soldiers and is slowly breaking the stigma toward them as people hop on the bikes and put their arms around young men some once feared. For Kevin, it's important to earn trust. He's also earning enough money to pay fees for night school.
I want to be a businessman. Yeah, that's my dream. I want to be a businessman.
While the past cannot be erased, Kevin is finally on the road to recovery. Seema Mathur for CNN, Liberia.